Welcome to Not Your Basic Brunettes, where we, Devin and Katie, dive into all things girly and beyond. From sharing TMI moments to navigating life's chaos with humor and vulnerability, we're here to create a safe space for moms, single ladies, entrepreneurs, and corporate girlies alike. Grab a drink, get comfy, and join us as we laugh, cry, and connect through all of life's moments. Now here are your hosts, Devin and Katie.
Did they teach you about STIs?
Yeah.
We could be like Mean Girls. Don't have sex. You will get an STD and die.
Start spelling out chlamydia on the thing.
I love that.
Such a great movie.
All right, guys. Well, welcome back to Not Your Basic Brunettes. Today we are going to discuss period experiences.
Yeah. I feel like I'm color coordinating.
I know. I was wearing the wrong red. My bad.
You're white.
White flag.
Not a great color to wear.
Don't forget to follow us on Spotify, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, whatever platform you like the most. We have a station for you. So let's get into it.
WKK.
WJKA. Here we go. Okay, so let's start from the very beginning. When was your first period? How old were you?
I was 14. I got everything
You
my
late
curse.
bloomer.
I know. Well, my mom didn't get hers till 17.
Oh,
so
dang.
I was
wow.
early for my family.
Yeah.
The curvier one, which I wasn't.
You're like, oh, okay.
I got my boobs earlier. I got, that sort of stuff because I grew up with real thin sisters.
Uh-huh.
But no, I mean, I got my braces off before high school and my period. I guess it was the two big things. My period when I was 14. I don't really remember.
I'm a woman now, girl.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah. What about how old were you?
I was actually 11.
Oh my goodness.
Years old.
I couldn't imagine 5th grade.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine.
I was, and the worst part was I was with my dad when it happened. We were snowboarding and I went to the bathroom.
Yeah.
And I was just like,
well, you don't know what to do. Like me at 14, I was just like, oh, I didn't put a pad on. I didn't know anything. And then just kept in my underwear. I'm like,
yeah,
what do I do? And my mom's
I just I rolled up a wad of TP to make a little makeshift pad until we got home. Cause obviously it's not heavy. It's your first time. It's a few drops of blood or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I got home and I'm like, Mom, I need a pad. And that was the end of our conversation about it.
I think I knew or was comfortable even asking because she was like, did you put anything? And I was like, no, I just changed my underwear. Tell me these things. I don't know.
Help me. Help you.
Right. And then I was a swimmer, so you're not going to swim with it. That doesn't work.
Maxie's bad just float in the pool.
So gross. I mean, we were already paranoid enough about the string hanging out, which is the most embarrassing
slips
thing.
the lip there. You're like, oh God.
Yeah, no, or your string. I remember that a few times. A girl would come up to you and be like, what? She's bending over with your ass in people's faces, and you're like, oh, back then, now I'd be like, oh, I don't care.
Yeah.
But back then, I'd be so
oh my God.
Yeah.
This is awful.
Yeah, didn't know how to put that in. I didn't even put it in correctly.
Oh no.
Okay, so my mom was cheap, and she bought all my friends had the plastic pearl ones.
Oh, did she buy you the cardboard one? Oh, those hurt so bad.
I know.
Oh,
there's no good way to grip it.
No,
and you're just ow,
and it hurts because it's dried. Oh.
Yeah. So I was like, can you spend the extra $2 to get the nice plastic ones?
Yeah.
So,
oh, you're poor thing. Thank God Rhea has you as a mom. Be no, I'm gonna get you whatever
we
you
don't
need.
use tampons no more. We use something else.
Okay, so obviously your sex ed class was not very educational.
Well, they told us, the stupid thing, oh, this is how you applicate it and watch how much water it absorbs. You're like, and that teaches me nothing except that it just absorbs water.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Or don't leave it in for too long because you'll get toxic shock syndrome.
Yeah. My mom scared me with that one because one of her friends that happened to her and she lost the tips of her fingers or something like that.
Yeah, it was terrifying.
God.
God. There'd be stories of people that are like, oh, I didn't know that I had a tampon up there, so I put another one in. I'm like, how?
Girl, that happens so many times. I'll be honest with you. Working in OBGYN, that happened so many times. They would come to the OB-GYN's office to get it taken out, because they couldn't find it.
Yeah.
Because there'd be so many folds, after kids or whatever, and they could not find it and knew something was wrong because it would smell.
Yeah.
And then they'd come in and we're like, you have a tampon. And they were mortified because they're like, oh my God, I don't even think there was a
Yeah.
tampon still there because they like took one out, put one in,
Yeah.
all the and I was like,
No. I changed like back when I wore tampons in high school and stuff. Like I didn't my voice today. I didn't wear like panty liners with it either. So
yeah,
like which you should. Like it's not
right,
that's
just
what
to
they're
be so
for. Yeah.
forward.
There's so many times in high school where I just like bled through my
Oh
pants and just like had a
no!
tie around the waist because like my mom wouldn't come get me or like I would be too
Oh,
embarrassed or like it's
how
like
mean! Like my mom, I'm on my way, baby. You fix your pants, I'll be right
go to
there.
the nurse's office. Like
Oh,
I think most of the times I just would be too embarrassed to even say anything
anything?
because it's like, oh, it was my mistake because I didn't know how to do it
Yeah,
correctly or like how often I needed to change, that sort of stuff. It was just like
yeah,
that education was not told to me
yeah,
and in a way that was like conversational,
yeah.
like, hey, this is okay.
This is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ugh.
I feel like some of my friends like had way better experience like with their like was like younger
Yeah.
like their moms were like take them on like a little like you're a woman now
Oh yeah.
date or have
No.
like a little party or something. My mom was like, here's a pad, like who's
I
just
was
over.
watching TV downstairs and like dinner time was called. It's like, hey, cool,
Cool. Yeah,
great. How do
it's
you
done.
feel? I don't
Yeah.
know.
I was like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't want this to be.
I'm like, I have no feelings about this situation. So I know you have bad periods now. Were they always bad?
um, obviously when they first started out, no.
Yeah.
But as I got older, they just got worse and worse. Then I would miss periods and not have one for like 2 or 3 months, and then I would have like a massive one
Mm-hmm.
the fourth month because I have PCOS, so it would just be
Yeah.
all over the place. And then I got on birth control. And birth control seemed to help the symptoms, but that was also the only treatment at the
Oh, I
time
know.
for
Yeah.
PCOS and hormones. So they were just
Yeah.
like, let's put you on birth control.
Yeah.
But I didn't know like all the side effects of birth control at the time because I'm like, the first time I got put on birth control, I was 12 years old
Wow.
because I had ovarian cyst.
Okay.
So they like a really large one, like ping pong size.
Jeez.
And she was like, well, the only way to control like ovarian cysts from like getting bigger is birth control. So they put me on birth control really
Mhm.
young. Unfortunately, it didn't work. It just kept getting bigger and I still had to
Yeah.
have surgery on it. But I didn't know all the side effects because like now like I'm not on birth control. It's like, oh, I have a sex drive and not dry as
Yeah.
the Sahara Desert.
Yeah.
So this is what that's like. I didn't know.
Yeah. Obviously, we weren't allowed to be on birth control because my mom didn't believe that.
Ooh,
I mean, that was like a baby
no,
prevention
girl.
thing and not
Yeah,
like a,
no,
hey,
girl.
your hormones, like, oh, I'm just going to give you birth control that just allows you to have sex with whoever you
Yes.
want. It's like,
Everybody
no,
thinks that though. It's
maybe
so
I could
it's
just
like
have
that
some
stigma.
comfort.
That stigma is
I
ridiculous.
know. I didn't get on it until like college and like I had it wanted to be on it for other reasons, obviously for like safety protection, but like
Uh-huh.
it was originally for like my migraines that they thought
Yeah,
was like associated with my period. And
for
I
sure.
was like on the like Lolo estro or something like
Yeah,
that. I
low
can't remember.
estrogen.
Yeah. The lowest dose of
I
estrogen or
know.
whatever. And I never really liked it. I was on it throughout college and then I got off of it my
Mhm.
early 20s and I got back on it for like a month when I was dating my boyfriend at the time. And I was like, I
Hate
hate
this.
the way I am on this.
Yeah.
I'm just like chubby. I don't feel like myself. I like it made my hormones almost crazier than normal and it
Mhm.
didn't feel like it really regulated anything about my period that I
Yeah,
can remember.
for
So I
sure.
was like, and then I was on the NuvaRing for like a month and all I did was just bleed for like a month straight. I was like, fuck this
You're like,
thing.
well, I'm done.
Shut it up. So that's what I don't understand. Like, how can that prevent
It's
stuff?
weird. It's so weird because it's like,
It's like you have to manually take it in and out.
yeah,
Like, that's a lot of admin work.
yeah. And then on top of that, if it like slips or like moves,
Yeah, it could fall out. I'm like,
it's
this
weird.
is.
My sister was on it for a long time. She said it
Yeah.
worked for a long, like before when she
Yeah.
was on birth control. She said it worked for her well because she didn't want to take like
Yeah.
pills and like all that kind of, or injections
Yeah.
or all that. But I was just like, I don't want to reach all up in there.
It's yeah, it's weird. It literally looks like a clear rubber band.
Yeah.
And just like
and just
it's like my rubber band or is this my ring on the floor? I'm not quite sure.
I have to double check. Hold
Yeah.
on.
I never had an IUD. That scared the shit out of
No,
me.
me neither.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
I know so many people that like and then got the thing in the arm in college, which was a
Yep.
big thing too.
Yep.
And I was like, I don't like that.
I'm not a fan. Like I actually used to take them out in the clinic with my
Yeah.
doctors and stuff like that. And you can only do the implant on like 3 times or something like that.
Mm.
But like the problem is that every time you put it in, there'd be like more scar tissue, so it'd be even
Yeah.
harder and harder to take out when we're trying to like take it out.
Yeah.
And plus you can feel it because it's just like subdermally,
Mm-mm.
so you can feel this
Mm-mm.
like little rod
Mm-mm.
just like in your arm. So I was
No.
like, and then I was always scared of an IUD because of
Yeah.
the patients I had. They would have ones that would like fall out
Will they like
or
embed themselves into
yeah,
you? Like,
yeah. I have an even worse one. So one of my MAs that I worked with before, she had an IUD and
Mm.
they cut her string wrong,
Oh, and it
so it
pokes you.
was sharp
Yeah.
and it lacerated her husband's penis
Oh my
when they were
god.
having
That's
sex.
like nightmare
And he had to have
stuff.
like 12 stitches in his penis. I'm so serious. He like, I guess he like it hurt, and then he pulled out like it was like bleeding, and he like fainted, and they had to call the ambulance. I was like, oh
It's
my,
like every dude's nightmare.
never mind.
Oh my god.
So
How
I
do
was
you
like,
recover from that?
no,
Not going back in there again
no.
for a long
I was
time.
like, oh my god, oh my god. I felt so bad for him, and she was like,
Yeah.
yeah, it was bad.
Yeah. No, I don't know anybody that's like, love mine. I'm
Love
like, all the
mine.
horror stories.
I've
of it.
had very few patients that say they love it,
Mhm.
and some of them it works like they would be the ones that like have had it replaced multiple times, and
Yeah.
they're like perfectly fine with it. I'm like, okay, works for
Mhm.
you, works for you.
Cool.
I've just never been like I'm kind of sensitive, and in general, I feel like I
Yeah.
would like feel it, just like
Yeah. Or I would be that
uncomfortable.
person that like gets it stuck or something. I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah. I mean,
I
I
don't
told
know.
you my dog groomer, recently hers perforated in her abdomen, had to go have
Oh,
taken out immediately. So
the shit we do to not have
yeah,
babies.
like I'm done. I'm
There's,
done.
I feel like there's other ways around this
This is why I'm real
situation.
glad about my tubal ligation. Like,
I know.
yeah.
Well, like speaking of like natural like baby prevention, like are you big like cycle tracker?
I wasn't because I
Yeah.
had PCOS, so I
Yeah.
never had a pregnancy scare. Like I would take pregnancy tests,
Hmm.
but because I had PCOS, my periods were random and
Yeah.
crazy, and I never got pregnant
Mm.
without fertility hormones.
Yeah.
So what about you?
I mean, not until recently. I mean, I got pregnant super easily, so it's like I started kind of tracking it with like that Flow app before I got pregnant with Campbell, because then it
Hmm.
was like you kind of would tell you like your ovulation cycle and that sort of stuff. But like you have to do that long enough and record
Yeah.
enough for it to really capture your actual
Hmm.
cycles. Because like for me, I tend to have longer ones. Like some day, like
Yeah.
in a month, I might be like almost 40 days. The other one might be like running 30.
Mm.
So like
Yeah.
you're not ovulating at the same
Time.
time every time. Like some women have like on the 20th of every month. It's like it happens. It like boom, boom, boom. So you
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
kind
Yeah.
of track that. But like understanding what you're and listening to your body, like
Hmm.
I know when I'm ovulating
Hmm.
because there's certain things about your body, your
Yes.
mood. You're prettier when you're in ovulation
Yes. You're like,
mode.
I feel very, very sexy
There's
today.
different stuff going on down
Yes.
there compared
Yeah.
to
For sure.
like the luteal phase, which is after that, because you can ovulate from like I guess 4 to 10 days.
Oh yeah.
So it's not like it's not a solid 7 days like each cycle, because
Hmm.
like people don't know, it's like you obviously have 4 cycles within your period. You have the
Yes.
menstruation, you have what is it, the one after the follicular
Follicular phase. Hmm.
ovulation and luteal, and then it
Hmm.
just repeats. So you can have like your menstruation is supposed to be 7 days, but like
Yeah.
that's generally kind of the gist of it. But like
Yeah.
for me, I only bleed probably about 4 days,
Yeah.
but you can still kind of have a little bit afterwards. And then your follicular and ovulation stage, that's the one where you can either be earlier or later
Hmm.
depending on what. And it's just like it's I mean, I can always tell when I'm ovulating on a good or bad, and then
Hmm.
luteal just
Shh.
slaps you in the face
Gotcha.
every month. You're
I
like,
know.
why am I such a bitch and I'm tired? And
Me yesterday. That's why I was like, the she bitch is
I
coming.
know. At first, I was like, "What are you talking about?" I was like, "Oh wait, we're syncing up."
I was like,
Got
oh,
it.
I'm an asshole right now to my husband. That's it.
I know. Like, I hate everybody. The world is shit. I look like shit.
Yes.
I feel like shit.
Yes.
And you're like, why am I so tired? And it's like, oh,
That's why.
every time.
Same.
Every time. I don't know any woman that's like, oh, I'm excited. Tomorrow starts my luteal phase.
Yes.
You're like 2 days in, you're like,
Okay, man, I hate this.
I'm
I'm so
sorry.
miserable. And then now it's like bloating and all the good
Yeah.
stuff starting. You're like, great.
Sit in a waiting
It's great,
period, and
yeah.
it's like, I'm going to have a little bit of cramps today,
Yeah,
but they won't be here tomorrow.
But I'll just poke you until then. You're
I
like,
know.
oh.
Yeah. Like I was telling you today, it's like my lymph node under my armpit is swollen.
Yeah.
Doesn't happen all the time. Like my boobs hurt, which doesn't happen all the time. Oh, man. Like before kids, when I could
Mhm.
always tell my period was coming because like my boobs would swell
They're
up.
all
And they would
oh.
hurt so bad. Like
Yeah.
diving into the water
You're
would
like,
make me cry.
oh.
Now it doesn't happen anymore. It's not like,
Yeah,
but
but
before it was
still,
just
it's
like,
like,
don't touch.
ow. It's like, I want to put my swimsuit on. It's too
It's like,
tight.
ow, ow, ow,
Too
ow,
tight.
ow.
It's too tight. Oh shit.
You're like, it's really good. Just don't touch
Don't
and
touch
don't.
it. Not even a brisk breeze.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, that was like the first sign I knew that I was pregnant. So I was trying on my wedding dress. I was like, oh, my period's coming. And it's like 3 weeks. I was like,
Like,
they're not
oops,
going down.
They're not going away.
So that didn't happen to you?
No,
No?
no. Like I said, I was on birth control
Oh,
forever.
that's right. Yeah.
So I really didn't know. Like, and it's kind of frustrating because, like I said, I didn't know like this is how women feel
Mm-hmm.
for a long, long time. Like I was on birth control like since I was 12 years old.
Yeah.
Like on and off forever.
I didn't even
So
know they could prescribe it that young.
yeah, and it was very, very young. Even my mom was like, well, but like she's like also the same turn. I ended up in the ER
Mm-hmm.
with the because one cyst actually ruptured.
Mm.
And
That's
I
scary
was
at
at
that
soccer.
age.
Yeah, I was at soccer practice and it ruptured. I was running and it ruptured, and I was in so much pain. I was like
Mm-hmm.
on the ground, like like I was like it felt like fire, just like a
Mm-hmm.
hot poker. Somebody was like poking me, and then like waves of pain.
Yeah.
And my coach thought I was having like my period, so he was just like, "Get up!" Like,
You're fine.
yeah. And so finally, I just kept laying there, and I was like, "I
Nope.
cannot!" Like it hurt so bad, I was crying. And then finally, one of the parents was nice enough to come up to me and was like, "Katie, are you okay?" I was like, "I'm not okay. Somebody call my mom." Because she had
Call an
like sometimes I
ambulance.
would do soccer, like what do you call it? Carpool?
Yeah.
Like to go to soccer some weeks if my parents were working or whatever.
Yeah.
So they like call my mom and she was there within like 15, 20 minutes.
Mm.
Then she rushed me to the hospital.
Yeah.
And then they found it like, oh my God, I was in the ER forever. First time I ever had
Yeah.
like morphine.
Oh.
So I'm like,
Keep going.
"Woo." I'm like 12 years old. Like, "Woo." I was like, I'm on Popeyes. I'm hungry.
Fine, we can just go
I'm
now.
fine. My mom was like, no. And I was like, but I'm really hungry. So then my dad like went to go get me Popeyes because I
Aw.
was like waiting forever. I
Yeah.
had to wait like almost 6 hours for an ultrasound tech to like show up with his
Jesus.
ER, and I had to pee so bad because my bladder was like full.
Did you not pee?
And they were like, well, you need your bladder full for the freaking
For
test.
6 hours?
I was like,
About to pee on
I
this
told her, I was like,
exam.
ma'am, I was like, and you're giving me IV fluids
Yeah.
on top, so like I have to pee. So I was like, I'm gonna let some out. Like
Yeah.
I was so let me go to the bathroom to let me go a little bit because I was like,
Oh, I
dying.
sucked those IVs down, and like
Yeah,
10 minutes
same.
later, I'm like, "Ugh."
Especially because I've been playing soccer, so like
Yeah.
I'm dehydrated. So my
Yeah.
body's like,
It's
it's great.
thirsty. Just
It's
give me another
great.
one. I'll
Yeah.
pee again.
Some Popeyes, some morphine. It's great. So yeah, that's why my mom just didn't want me to be in pain like
Yeah.
anymore. So she was like, well, give her the birth control if that's what
Yeah.
it's gonna work on. But yeah, I didn't realize that everybody like feels like this and has like different phases, like you
Yeah.
said, like with the different cycle phases and again having a sex drive or like
Yeah.
not being like the Sahara Desert because
Yeah.
the birth control like dries you out because there's suppresses your estrogen and hormones.
Yeah.
Like it's a lot. So
It's crazy though, because there's all these stories that like, and you could speak on it to like Marion Omar, of like all these women that are on birth control, if they meet
yeah.
their partner, want to get pregnant and get off of it, and they're completely disgusted by
Oh yeah.
them, like
Yep.
repulsed,
Absolutely.
because you're just pumping out all these fake hormones, which creates the
Yes.
fake pheromones and stuff like
Pheromones.
that. And I was like, that's such a mean trick.
Yeah, it's so
Like,
true
I
though.
don't
It's
like
so
you anymore.
true. I've had
Yeah.
some friends have definitely gone through that where they like dated a guy, got off
Yeah.
birth control, and they were like, "Oh my God, why? No, can't stand his body odor. Can't like just like nothing."
Like the power of hormones. Like,
Yes,
Jesus.
it makes a huge difference. And
Yeah.
again, men don't understand until you have a woman that's going through it, and it's like, this is what we go through. This
I
is how
know.
it's
I'm
going.
so open about that stuff now. I'm like, hey, I'm in this phase. This is what I'm feeling like. I have no shame around
Yeah.
anymore. It's like most people are like respective of that. Like, oh, thanks
Yeah.
for like, do you need anything? Like this sort
Yeah.
of stuff of like, oh, like more knowledge. Because I'm just like, it was so taboo when we were growing up to like, don't talk about your period.
Oh
Don't
yeah,
tell anybody that you're
absolutely.
PMSing. Or
Yeah.
like every time you're in a bad mood, oh, you're PMSing. And it's
Yeah.
like,
Oh,
okay,
that was
well,
the worst stigma ever with men. Oh, you're PMSing. It doesn't mean I'm PMSing because I'm pissed off. Like,
yeah,
it could
no,
just be because you're an asshole.
yeah, right. Both at the same time. You
Yeah.
know, it's like those sort of things, like we were talking about, like the luteal phase where it just catches you off guard.
Yeah.
It's like understanding that and like being more gentle with yourself. Like this
Yes.
will fade away eventually. This is not something that you need to like be super concerned about. Like obviously
Yeah.
take care of yourself because you're supposed to like slow down. And like people always think that like the days you're actually like menstruating or having your
Mhm.
period is the days where you're supposed to be all calm and blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, it's the
No.
week before
Yeah.
that you need like the TLC essentially. You need
Yeah.
to build your body up to be able
Exactly.
to, because a period is detoxifying your body.
Exactly.
It's getting rid of everything. And people that skip those pills, if you're on birth control because they don't want a period, that's
Builds up real good.
terrible.
Yeah.
Like the biggest thing I've learned in the last few years, just understanding more about like women's cycles, is like this dictates where your body's at and where your health is. Like pay attention to that shit, because I think it's like 60 to 90 days before, like my period now is a reflection of 60 to 90 days of where you were at before. So like what your body's going through, what stress you're under, and this sort of stuff, because like that can really dictate how you feel. And like if your periods aren't normal, which I feel like most women's aren't, like check into that.
Absolutely. A diet also plays a really key role in your period. So like I was listening to a podcast once, and like one of the providers on this podcast was like, you actually wouldn't have pain with your period if you ate a whole food diet.
Yeah.
And it's true, because there have been times where like I ate really, really good for the month because I'm on a strict diet and everything, hardly have any cramps. But at the same time, it's like, but I want to feel joy and have chocolate.
Well, yeah, I mean, like there's a reason that we crave chocolate, because it has
magnesium.
magnesium in it, and like certain things. Like I take progesterone now to like help with periods and stuff like that. But yeah, you're completely right with like your gut and your diet and all that sort of stuff. Like it's kind of nice to have that. I don't think dudes have that like measuring stick, but we just don't go into depths about it, or don't share it enough with the people. I mean, I think our generation is doing a really good job of like teaching younger kids about
Absolutely.
periods, and it's more than just like your periods really shouldn't be bad. Like and they're getting them so much younger now, which is like, how do you explain to like an 8-year-old, which is insane.
I know,
Of
it's
like,
insane.
you have this for the rest of your life,
I
dear, for a long, long
know.
time.
And honestly, though, I feel like a lot of that is still, like you said, with diet. It's stemming with that, because we were given a lot of food back then that had like steroids and hormones and all that kind of stuff. And now they're figuring like, oh, this is not good for us. Maybe we should change it. Whoops. So it's like, yeah, that's probably why because like I remember I had underarm hair in second grade.
Oh my goodness.
And I was like shocked, because like, and I didn't even know, like I wasn't even like, because I wasn't paying attention to my armpit. And I like raised my hand in class, and this kid was like pointing at me, and he was mean. He's an asshole. His name was Brian. Brian, you're an asshole. Still probably are. And I was like, and I didn't even know, like I was just like, oh, and I like went home, and my mom like tried to like nair it for me, which was like the worst.
I had the tweezers.
Oh, ow! Teacher mom is mean. Mom, you're mean. That hurts. Dear Lord.
I mean, it was usually just like 1 or 2.
No, I already had like the whole hair things. Like my mom did nair just so that I wouldn't use razors, but then it like burned my armpits even more because I have sensitive skin.
Yeah.
I was
When
like,
also just like all your
doing
lymph
this.
nodes.
Oh, it hurts so bad. I'm like, I quit.
I could just imagine that smells like burning rubber.
Oh, and it smells so bad. Oh, it's so. It looks like calamine lotion, but it smells like
yeah. I remember the first time I did that. I was like, "What is that smell?" I'm like, "Oh, it's just singeing
it's
off.
just
my
singeing
body."
my hair. Oh, my skin too, probably.
Yeah.
It's just good.
Yeah, it's thinning in there. Damn.
Yeah, it's hurt.
Yeah.
Don't recommend it. Don't
Well,
put
yeah,
nair.
and talk about like period smells, and like you are just stinky.
Yeah.
Which hormone sweat is the worst.
Hormone sweat is the worst.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous, because you're like changing deodorants, taking more showers, just trying not to smell.
Yeah.
And there's nothing you do. It's all normal. But unfortunately, society is like, this is not normal.
Let's try to cover it up with a whole body deodorant.
The whole
It's
body
like,
deodorant
okay.
and a stick. Like, thanks.
Yeah. Okay. So, since you have PCOS and I have endo, obviously our periods are not great.
Yes.
And like
They
kind of
suck.
dictate our entire ruling
Yes.
of the month. Because people are like, oh, you have like one, most people associate periods like, oh, you have one bad week. It's like, you talk to so many women, it's like, no, you have one good week.
Yeah.
Which is usually your ovulation
That should
week.
be. Yeah.
But like with me this time, since I have endo, you can get, and you have it too, like painful ovulation.
Oh yeah.
Where like,
for sure.
My body's swollen. Like that was the first sign that I noticed that I didn't know that I had endo. Because it's like during that phase, I would be so swollen and like it would hurt to even like sit down sometimes, or like I'd be so uncomfortable. And I just thought, I was like, oh, I'm just gassy or something. But it's like, but it would never release in the way that gas would have. But it's just because you're swelling up down there and it's like so much pressure. And so I had that this month, but I didn't have it the month previous, So
Yeah.
it's like it's always keeping you on your toes of like,
Yeah.
okay, well, why am I in so much pain?
hmm
I don't know how to explain it.
I don't know how to explain it either, but it's kind of funny because like this is the first month that I've had ovarian pain
Hmm.
since my tubal ligation.
Yeah.
But also I told you that when they did my tubal ligation, my
Hmm.
doctor was like, "You have scar tissue inside of your fallopian tube."
Mm.
Like
Do you think that's from the cyst?
she thinks it's from the previous surgery that I had, which was interesting because when I was 16 and they finally removed that cyst, that they
Hmm.
were trying to control with birth control because it wasn't being controlled, it just kept growing. So they were like, "Let's just take it out."
Hmm.
Um, she told me that it was like on the outside of my ovary and that it
Hmm.
was fine, like so she just kind of like scraped it off and
Mm.
moved on.
Yeah.
But I'm like, then why are there scar tissue inside of my fallopian tube? So
Yeah.
every time that I would like every month I would have like ovary pain, like
Hmm.
bad. And sometimes to the point where I'm going to the emergency room because
Mm.
I thought it felt like almost like a cyst rupture
Yeah.
or something going on. And she's like, well, it could explain a lot of your ovarian pain in the last 16
Thank
plus years
you.
of your life
Yeah.
because you had this scar tissue like building up every time you're trying to like ovulate. And then
Yeah.
also it's on top of that, just cysts in general, could have really affected this. And this is why you're having this much pain. And I was like, oh, that's wonderful. Cause
Mm.
every time I go to the emergency room, they'd be like, yeah, well, we don't really know why. And here's your pain meds and like fluids. And then they send me home.
Like
That's
my
my favorite.
like my eye doctor. Well, women, they have hormone changes throughout the month. I was like, you don't
You
say.
don't say. I
Thank you,
am
sir.
34. I think I know. Thank you.
But can you tell me why my vision fucks up every time?
That'd be
That's what
great.
I'm worried about. Thank
That's
you.
what I'm worried about. Thank you,
Because
sir.
that's another thing too of like you don't realize how much hormones affect every
Everything.
aspect. Like my
Mhm.
vision will go to shit. Like I'll have floaters, black spots. I'm
Yeah.
like I have to wear like different colored glasses and this sort of stuff because I feel
Mhm.
like I'm going blind. I'm like extra sensitive, and it's
Yeah.
like, oh no, it's just because your hormones are
Mhm.
fluctuating
Yeah.
that much, and it's just like insane. Like today, like my body was itchy, or like I felt like I don't know, like the inside of my body was going to
Mhm.
explode, and it's a weird feeling because you just feel this pressure building up,
Mhm.
but you're like, I don't what's going on, and you're
Yeah.
just like, all you could just be like, oh, it's my period coming.
Yeah. Saw my period coming. There's
Like,
literally
what the
nothing
fuck
you
are
can
you
do.
doing in there?
Yeah. She's getting real mad. It's a rage room in there.
Well, because like it makes sense because every other month your ovary switches.
Right.
Like each month is
Mhm.
different. You don't release an egg from both
Both
ovaries at the
ovaries.
same
Yeah.
time. So I never know like my periods are like the lead up to one of them will be
Mhm.
terrible.
Mhm.
Like this one. Like the bloating, the ovary pain during ovulation, like just terrible, terrible, terrible. Like
Mhm.
sickness, like period flu, which I didn't even know was a thing until I
That's
got it
interesting.
like
Yeah.
6 months ago. I'm like, do I have the flu? And then
Period flu.
yeah, and like I said, my armpit hurt, and then like I had it for like a day, and then
Mhm.
once my period came, it went away, and you're like,
What's
huh?
happening? Ooh.
But then my actual period will be okay.
Yes.
But then the next one will be like leading up, I'm feeling great, like this is
Yep.
great, and then it's
And
like
it's like, I
no,
got you. Knock your
yeah,
ass down.
and
Yeah.
it's like here we're gonna release these giant clots out of your body, and
Yes.
then since I have very heavy periods,
Mhm.
and I knew that when I was younger because it was like my mom would be like, oh well, we passed these clots, like your grandmother had it, I
Mhm.
have it, like your sisters have it. That was normal because it
Yeah.
was genetic, and like oh, there's nothing you can do about it, and
Yeah.
like that's not
Not
normal.
normal. It's not
I
normal.
just remember being like in my mid-20s, just being at work, just like bent over, and you
Yeah.
can't like you have to function.
Yeah. Well, and that's the worst part is that I feel like most workplaces don't understand that like you literally there's days where I'm on my period and I'm down for like 3 days.
Yeah.
Like I want to be in bed with a hot pad and I don't want to
Mm.
move. And
Yeah.
it's like how am I supposed to function and go to work like this?
Well, yeah. Back in the days, they should send us to a hut.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Send me out to the
Like,
woods
thank
with
you.
all the other feral women for the month.
Like, go for it. I was thinking about that earlier today. I was like, like in small villages, like you and I have synced up because like a lot of women, we sync up somehow. And I was like, what if like all the village women synced up at one time and then they're just sent away
Like,
for like a week? Like, did that happen? Like,
possibly.
like all the
Those
women are just
poor
like, we're
men.
out. Good luck.
Have fun with them kids.
Yeah.
Bye bye. That'd be me.
Right. We should bring that back
I'm fine with
in
it.
a nice way. But yeah, like being at work and like trying to function because they like say the pain is equal to like a heart
Heart
attack,
attack. Yeah. Yeah.
which is insane.
This is why I love those videos where men do those pain
Yeah.
stimulators. I'm like, yeah, now you know how it feels, Vassal.
Yeah.
And we have to work like that.
or they're like, "Oh, I need to go to the bathroom. I have gas." I'm like, "Oh, like that's nothing."
I'm like, please.
You can fart and it'd be fine. Like, give me a break. Yeah. But like, I didn't realize how much blood I was losing until I started using like the cup where it
Yeah.
measures.
Yeah.
And it was like a TikTok or Instagram or something like that where the lady was like pouring in and she's like, "This is light, this is normal, this is not." I was like, "Oh."
Oh.
Because like normal quote unquote is like for your 7 full days.
Yes.
It's like 3 to 4 tablespoons.
More than that for me.
I was like, I do that in about a day.
Yeah. You're like,
And yeah. And like the color of your blood dictates a
yes,
lot too.
absolutely.
And like all this sort of stuff of like dictates your health too. So it's like really important to understand that. Like, 'cause if it's darker and brown, it's older blood and a lot of
Mhm.
like uterine lining. If it's a normal red color, that's fine. And if
Yeah.
it's like a different color, like pink or whatever, and then you get the orange in
Yeah.
there, you're like, go to the doctor for
You're
that
like,
one.
go to the doctor. Bye.
A little yeast infection with that one.
Someone can hip you.
Yeah.
Can hip you. You're gonna need that for that.
Yeah.
You're gonna need a prescription.
That one's not normal.
A
No.
prescription.
Yeah.
Like I said, do not have sex or you will die. Dang it, Mean Girls was so good. Such a good movie.
Yeah, because I feel like in movies back in the day, when they would like broach the topic of periods, it would just be like I said, like a hush hush thing.
Oh yeah.
Like discreetly, blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm. They're still like that now. They're like,
Yeah.
hide your pad and make sure nobody sees when you go to the bathroom. It's like, here's my tampon bag. I don't care.
I
Go to the
know.
bathroom.
Yeah, I remember having to like go to the bathroom and like shove it up my sleeve in high school and like walk around. I was like, now I want to give 2 shits.
Yeah.
I was gonna say something. Oh, like period commercials. I'm like, wow, I'm gonna do these backflips and jump. Fuck that. No, I'm
no
not.
one's doing backflips on their goddamn period. Y'all lying sons of bitches. Y'all marketing team sucks.
Or like,
Real bad.
have you seen the ones where they send the dudes to get the tampons? They're like, you want the
Yes.
sport active ones or you want the regular ones? So like, what's the difference in size?
The pads with the wings.
It's like that's not advertising to us. Like it's a
No.
necessity, first of all.
Yeah.
Also, just like
Which pads then should be for free. Just saying.
yeah, I was about to say that too.
Yeah.
Like any sort of. I mean, that's kind of why I moved away. Well, one, tampons have a bunch of shit in them. They're getting
Yep.
better now, just like not having toxins in them
Yep.
because you just absorb it into your body.
Mm-hmm.
Same with certain pads. Like I said, I went to like the cup, and now I do like the disc, which is not a glamorous way
Of
doing it at all. In public restrooms, you're like
shove.
I'm like, fuck. But you could go for longer, without having to worry about stuff.
Yeah.
It's just interesting, all the different stuff, and sometimes I don't like using it because it hurts.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I'm still weary because I'm I'm so old school. I hated the use of tampons. They hurt.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
I
any way
always
you
feel like
put
they're
them
falling
in,
out.
yeah. Well, for me, it's any way I put it in, it's uncomfortable. But then if I sit wrong, plus my uterus is retroverted, so like anyway, if I sit wrong, I can feel it like and it's just so uncomfortable. So I'm like, okay, I only wear those when I have to like go to the pool or something like that. And then my periods are so heavy when I'm not on birth control that I'm literally changing a pad every hour.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, I'm scared that I'm just gonna like leak through.
Yeah.
So I'm always wearing these ginormous
period underwears. That was not
period
a thing in
I
high
wear
school.
those too. Yeah. Oh my god, that would have saved us probably so much in high school.
Oh yeah.
Ah,
that'd be a game changer.
like
for
guys
me.
didn't think of this sooner.
I know. It also still blows my mind how they're made.
Yeah.
Like, where does it go? Magic tricks. Gone.
The best. They're like, love that.
Yeah, I'm like, but really, where does it go?
Yeah. Magic.
I don't know.
Material.
Magic
fabric.
Where are my magic panties?
So true. That's amazing.
You'll never know.
You'll never know.
Well, yeah. But it's like tampons also like make cramps worse
For sure.
because it's you're having to your uterus is having to hold it.
So then I'm just like, screw it. I'm wearing a pad and just like so I can change it every hour and just do what I need to do because I'm so uncomfortable and miserable going to the bathroom all the time. You know, you have to pee but you're also thirsty because you're drinking like a racehorse.
Yeah.
So you're like,
well, then you just feel like a diaper and you're like, can people hear me walking around?
Yeah. Oh no, remember the commercials of the wrapper?
No.
When the pads would like became quieter because before the wrappers were really loud and you're like, but now they're like quiet
I mean, I'm in the bathroom. Like,
I
why would I be
know.
worried about a
But like,
rubber?
who cares? But like, it's so funny because like half of them now are like kind of like when you rip them, it's hilarious. Like, I'm
Maybe
just,
not me. Maybe
but I
I'm
was
just
just like
aggressive
laughing
about it.
me. But I'm just like, it's so funny because like they
Just
used to
don't
be like,
talk about
yeah,
it.
yeah. It's like they're called.
Yeah. Shove it.
Shove it up
Rubbers,
your
actually.
ass.
The advertisements,
I
goddamn.
know. And again, how much you want to bet these were made up by men? So
Of course they are. We don't want to hear them opening any sort of wrappers
any kind
except
of
for
rapper.
not even condoms, because God forbid the dude wears a condom and doesn't feel right. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. That sucks for you. Aww.
Aww.
You want to talk about your feelings next?
There. We just not do it, and then we'll be
Yeah,
fine.
and that'll be just fine by me.
I'm okay with that.
Next.
I We're talking about like men birth control.
Oh yeah, they are coming out with a pill for that though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many do you think men would actually do it?
I do. I think the younger generation
Younger,
would
yeah.
for sure because a lot of the men now, like they want to like get their careers and things going before,
Yeah, I also feel like there's more knowledge
Yeah,
about it, and it's not just like all girls' responsibility anymore.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, I have hopes that like honestly, like in the future, that a lot of men will be choosing to do birth control too. Because I mean, honestly, double birth control for you and your partner, whatever, like it's less
Yeah.
likely risk to have an accidental baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's definitely an option.
Yeah, how does it work?
I'm not exactly sure. I know that they're coming out with it. It's just a pill. It's a generic like pill form.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it's like a birth control ring or like
Yeah,
break
I'm
the
just trying to
circle or
think of
ring or
like,
whatever.
yeah, like do they have to take it just before, or like
I don't
all
know.
like that'd be
Something I have to
interesting.
look into.
Yeah.
But it's very interesting because obviously like there's the old school way of vasectomies, but
Yeah. Because you can get that reversed.
actually there's a stigma on that. So
Mm.
it's actually not as reversible as people think because
Okay.
obviously like I had signed up my husband for one.
You also need to get it checked twice.
Yes.
If you get
Please
it.
do your semen analysis, the 2 tests that they recommend after your vasectomy because sometimes it doesn't take, guys, and then you have a surprise. Oops, baby. Oops.
Why
And
is
then
my
your wife
sister
is
10
real
years younger?
pissed. Yeah, your wife's real pissed. So please go in and
You
do
have
your
one
semen
job,
analysis.
one tiny,
Literally.
super tiny surgery.
Yeah.
Which you guys get sent home more painkillers than
Oh
we
my gosh,
do
it's ridiculous.
than
My
giving
friend
birth.
works in urology. So they
Yeah.
literally get Xanax, they get Vicodin. It's a 30-minute procedure of 20 seconds of pain, and you're numbed with lidocaine.
And you're outpatient.
Because
I was supposed to have my hysterectomy in April.
Yeah.
And I obviously didn't have it. But that's a fucking outpatient surgery.
Yeah.
Which is insane because you're
It is
taking
insane.
an organ out of a human body.
Yeah. It's pretty good size organ.
Big beast.
Big beast. Yeah. I mean, obviously, if you have complications, they're going to like keep you
Yeah.
overnight or
But
too much blood
still,
loss or
like,
whatever.
and
But yeah.
you can be in there from an hour to like 8 hours too.
Yeah.
Depending on how bad your situation is.
Yeah.
Because the doctor I was going to go to here in Longmont, he's like, I'm so thorough because I want it, because like endo is not just like
Just your uterus.
localized.
It could
can
be
go
all
all the
over.
way.
Yes,
Yeah. So he
yes.
pretty much goes from the abdomen down and like
Yeah.
checks for all the different stuff.
For sure.
And I was like, I can't believe that's an outpatient.
Huge
Like at
surgery.
least like when you give a
Yeah.
baby, it's like, okay, you're there to monitor you, like at least for just like
Yes.
fucking support, because they're like, don't
Yeah.
walk up the stairs, don't do anything. It's like, well,
Yeah.
you're just sending me home.
They do the same thing with the uterus. They're like, you have what, 6 to 8 week recovery or something like that?
No, it's like 14 to 16 weeks.
Golly.
Yeah, because then you got to go to the PT, and then like even having sex after that. I think maybe the sex having it again is like this 14 to 16 weeks, and I think
Mhm.
everybody heals differently.
Right.
But someone I've talked to that like bounce back instantly,
Yeah.
and there's some that depending on your severity of
Yeah,
how in
for
depth
sure.
they go and dig around, it's a little bit more recovery. But it's like no
Yeah.
raising, lifting
More
things,
than
watch
20
over serious.
pounds.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like,
Mhm.
okay, well, how do I do that with kids? That
Kids.
was another thing too.
Yeah.
It's like, well, now I'm a single mom. Like,
Yeah.
how am I not supposed to like do these sort of activities for at
Right.
least 2 months, if not
Yeah.
more?
Yep.
And then it's like a lot of people don't get the the PT afterwards, because you got to
Mhm.
strengthen, especially after babies, strengthen your
Yes.
muscles
Your pelvic flora.
Yeah. That was an interesting.
Those are fun. Ever had a pelvic floor massage? They suck.
It's not a massage.
It's not a massage. It's very weird. It's a weird violation of something that you have to be done.
I was just thinking of just like had it back in. I started pelvic floor PT back in December, and then she took a leave of absence. But it's just like I was not expecting you just
Yeah.
be up there for 30 minutes while I'm talking to you.
It's real awkward. Yeah, I had mine done first time when I was pregnant with Rami, and I was like, "Oh, okay." But like, I was fair warned before
Yeah.
I went, but still, it's just
She was
it's
very
still-
respectful. I was like,
yeah,
tell me
like
what you're
it's like
doing and this sort of
having
stuff.
a like a conversation, but
Yeah.
it's just like this is weird.
And then you're like, oh, that hurts.
Yeah.
And she's like, you're
Just-
doing it wrong. I'm like, I don't
know what I'm
I don't
doing.
know what I'm doing.
This your first time? Yes.
Yes. You want to get coffee afterwards or something? I feel like I
I
owe
mean, buy me
you
a drink first.
Yeah.
Dear Lord.
This little thin cotton blanket over your like, all right.
It's paper. Like,
She didn't have the paper ones like the doctors do.
yeah.
That's the worst. And they're like, scoot down. You're like, crinkle,
Crinkle, crinkle. And it's like, it doesn't even like keep you warm.
Shuffle,
You're like,
shuffle.
this is awkward.
Yeah.
This is
Your devices are chilly.
Can you at least warm up the lube?
I know.
Whatever.
That's what they did with my pregnancy. At least they like warm the lube up to do your stomach.
Yeah.
but They don't have the
They don't do that.
decency.
I know when they go down there and it's like, well, that's rude. I used to like when I worked in OB-GYN or did like things like that. Like I would always like leave the lube in the warmer and
Yeah.
then I would like squirt on the tray like right before we're gonna go in
Yeah.
because I'm like it's mean.
Yeah.
It's cold.
You already
It's
got
ice
a
cold.
metal, with weird metal apparatus spreading you apart.
Oh, now they're
anyways.
plastic
Oh, are they?
with illuminated lights on them.
Wow.
They're
Those
fancy.
LED.
They're
duct
fancy.
bills.
They're plastic and they're like LED, but like so they open and then you like pull the tab for the light, like the lithium light.
It's like a fucking just like thing on the airplane. Like pull the tab to release
Yeah.
the lighted waves.
It's
Down
like,
this
and
area.
down this area.
Come on in. Just get a little forward, hips up. You're just like,
You're like,
okay.
well, yep, you're gonna feel like your butt's falling off the edge. Keep coming. You're like, what?
You're like, should I shave? I don't know.
I can say from working in OB-GYN, please shower,
Oh yeah.
please trim.
Mm.
You know, you don't have to completely shave naked, but at least like trim so we can do a full exam. You know,
Not taking you away.
just saying. I mean, like, you know, like just clean up, groom up a little bit so that they can see things. Because obviously, like, too, if you're there for like an STD check or something like that, we really want to be thorough, make sure we're not missing anything. Also, just for the respect of your provider. I mean, they have to look at hoo-haws all day. And, you know, there are people that are quite gross and don't. And it's, you know, you have to be down there. Like, that's rude.
It's an interesting job.
It is an interesting job. I would not have chosen it if I were a doctor, I would not have chosen that field. But
Yeah, I know some people that like because you have to do your rotations, whatever, and like fall into it and love it.
Yeah.
And then it's just like I don't know. Like, how do you?
I
guess it's like every job you kind of separate it from like work life,
Right.
but also just like how do you go home and just be like? I guess it'd be kind of like actors, you know, like you're
Yeah.
kissing a bunch of people, but it's like
Yeah.
not your person anyways.
Yeah.
So it's like that was my job.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm so far from medical. I can't.
I mean, there are some days where it's like, yeah, like I saw someone else's penis, like whatever.
That's true, I guess.
You know, or same here, like I saw, or like the girls would be like, I'm so embarrassed to change. I'm like, girl, I've seen it. Like we all have vaginas. We've been there, done that. Like there's no shame here. Just we're here for a medical exam. Like if you've seen one, you've seen it all. Like
Rhea the other day, we were
Lord.
getting changed, and she was, you know, we talk about body parts and stuff. She goes, "Oh, mom, look, it's a little cute butt."
That was the best.
Yes.
And recording in your childhood book. It's a cute butt.
I mean, yeah, it does for now.
Yeah. I know I'm gonna have to get Kai one of those body books because he's starting to be like, "What's that?" And I'm like, "It's a breast." What's that? It's a nipple.
Yeah. Campbell's very into that recently. I'm
Yes.
just like, okay, moved on from the belly button to the nipples. Okay,
Mhm.
I'm gonna change over here.
Yeah.
So you haven't gone like your full like hormone testing yet.
Not yet. No, I'm still waiting on some funds for that. But
Yeah.
I have been doing a little bit, just the basic, you know, testosterone, estrogen, progesterone,
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff. I am waiting to do a Dutch test
Mm-hmm.
to make sure I'm not having too much estrogen like built up
Mhm.
in my system, causing to have these painful periods. So hopefully something will do. But until we get that test done, then I don't know if I need to do an estrogen detox. Is what my functional
Yeah.
medicine doctor is kind of discussing for the future. So, but you've done a Dutch test, correct?
hmm
Yeah.
Yeah, I did a Dutch test about 7 months or something like that after I had Rhea because I just could tell. And then working with people in town, like, and my acupuncturist was the one that did it. 'Cause she was certified and like reading it because she was telling me like, I've been going to her and she comes from a woman's health background and just like introducing me to all that stuff. So yeah, it's like a month long. That's so much admin because you have to like pee on this at a certain time. I kind of fucked up on things. They're like, can you redo this section? I'm like, yeah.
Dang it.
But yeah, then I got the one that also tested like cortisol levels and stuff
Mhm.
like that. So most of my stuff came back normal, which is good, but also just like kind of frustrating because you're like,
Yeah.
well, I was expecting my estrogen to be like crazy
Crazy.
off the roof and be
Yeah.
like, this is why you're in so much pain. And this is before I knew I had endometriosis.
Yeah.
I only found that out like 2 Decembers ago. So, but I mean, I did find out that like I don't methylate, which
Mhm.
is a huge thing too.
Yep.
So that was a big thing and kind of just like jump started me onto understanding the different parts of my cycles and like
Mhm.
that sort of stuff. Obviously my cortisol was like off the
Off the
charts. I was
charts.
like,
Yeah. Well, you're stressed.
yeah,
That'll do.
the adrenal function is not working. Cool. Okay.
That'll do.
Knew that.
That'll
They're like, I
do.
wonder why you just have this random spike in the middle of the day. I'm like, I don't know.
Like,
Ask me on a certain day or what pissed me off. I don't know.
What time did that phone call come in?
Yeah. Because if you go to your doctor, a lot of times they'll just be like, oh, you could do a blood test. But
Right.
like that's only a tiny little snapshot of that day
Exactly.
at that time. It
Yeah.
doesn't give you like a full comprehensive thing, which the Dutch test does. Like it is
Yeah.
a bit of an investment. I think
Absolutely.
it was like $700 or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
And it just depends on where you get it to. And it's like, okay, you have to do it for a month and you have to wait for the results. So there's,
Wow.
it's
Yeah.
a lot. But I think it's important for women to know, especially like, because I would always be like, oh, it's your thyroid. But I had so many tests on my thyroid and that wasn't
Same.
it.
Yeah.
It's like, well, then what the hell is going on?
Yep.
I don't understand.
Yep. I know. I always thought it was my favorite when they're like key factors to like go like test your thyroid. I'm like, I do test my thyroid and we do the free T, free 4, blah
Yeah.
blah 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 blah. I'm like, it's not just
Yeah.
your thyroid panel, your TSH panel.
Yeah. Well, it's like what you were talking about before, like your diet and your lifestyle
Yeah.
plays a huge factor
Oh,
into
absolutely.
everything.
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting to see like how my periods are now that I've gone through what I've gone through,
Mhm.
whether they'll get better
Yeah.
or not. I'm sure they won't be great,
Right.
but like
That's something.
taking
Something
care
to
of
help.
yourself.
Yeah. Because raw dogging it over here sucks.
Like, is that the right term for that?
Yes. Because sometimes your period is literally just goddamn.
Yeah, you're
Like,
just like, all right, well, it's survival mode.
yeah.
You just gotta like take the punches where it comes. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm not falling apart.
Yeah.
I'm not dying. It's just my
My
hormones.
hormones.
Yeah.
So, what is your plans for whenever Rhea has her first cycle?
Yeah, I feel like I'll probably even tell her earlier on, like maybe both of them at the same time, because I think knowledge is power for
Absolutely.
both sexes in that sense of if any, because I like for me growing up, like even when like I started hitting puberty and like getting hair places or like my boobs are growing, like I wanted my mom to notice these things, but
Yeah.
she was just gonna like, yeah,
You're
like okay,
help me.
yeah, I'm like, can I have a bra? And she's like, yeah. Like there's no like there was no like that bonding moment. So it was more
Yeah.
of like afraid to ask. Like I can see my body changing.
Yeah.
But like even now I would say like when just talking about like when they're in the bath together, shower, it's like,
Yeah.
okay, you have something different than he has.
Right.
Like, girls have this and this, and it's like they'll come into the bathroom while I'm on my period. They're like, Mommy, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah.
Like,
That's Kai.
it
It's
just
like, do you have
happens.
wearing a diaper? I'm like, yep, Mom's wearing a diaper right now.
Yeah, like, well, then they say blood in the toilet, and they're
Yeah.
like, oh my God, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. Women just go through this every single month.
Yeah.
So just having those little conversations earlier on, but like,
Yeah.
if she starts asking me questions, I want to have the knowledge and like comfortability with her to be like, hey, you can ask me anything.
Yeah.
And that goes in with like the sex talk and stuff like that too,
Yeah.
like understanding your phases or whatever. And oh, have you seen the TikToks where the dude's like, guys, explain the fucking luteal phase to me because some girl said
Yeah.
I couldn't go on a date with her because she's in this phase and wait to this. She's like, what does it mean?
What does it mean?
I'm like, God bless you, little soul. He's trying so hard.
He's trying real hard, but at least he
It has
has.
nothing to do with you, bro. It has everything to do with where she is in her life right now.
But at
Like,
least he has.
I know, like, help me out.
Most guys would be like, okay, fuck it. Like, I don't want to go on a date with you.
Chat GPT it, okay?
Okay.
Listen to this. Take some lessons.
Yes.
What about you? Because you have both boys.
I know. I mean, honestly, me and my husband both know to definitely have the talk with them a lot earlier than we were probably told. But at the same time, both of our parents were very avoidant about everything.
Yeah.
Like if you don't know or don't tell you, you won't know. It's like no, kids find out in other ways or hearing it from other kids at school or the internet, like just in general. So it's like I know we're gonna have this talk and definitely a lot sooner rather than later. Especially the whole sex ed talk and with girls and whatnot, because I got 2 boys. So here's condoms. Don't do this. Don't do drugs. Like all that stuff. You know.
Done by.
But me and Omar have definitely discussed that like it will happen a lot sooner rather than later because I feel like my parents were very hush hush about it, and what frustrated me was the response that I got whenever they did find out like we were sexually active or whatever. It was like, I thought you were smarter than that.
I got
It's
called
like
a slut.
Yeah. But it's like we're not smarter than that.
Yeah.
We're literally going through all of these hormone changes, our body's going through stuff. And it's like you didn't talk to me about this.
Yeah.
To like make this more of a serious point.
Well, and also like it's very common and normal at that age too.
Yeah.
Like don't like at that age if you tell someone not to do something, that's what they're gonna do.
Yeah. Exactly. So I just feel like it was so backwards of how our parents kind of handled it, and going with like almost the boomers, they were just continuing it on and on and on. Same with Gen X, like Gen X, and I just keeping it that way, being like, that's hush hush. If we don't talk about it, they won't do it. It's like, no, you were 16 once, you did
like,
it too.
Do you remember your childhood?
Yeah, like.
Yeah.
Everybody in high school is doing all kinds of stuff. Shoot, even when I was in middle school, I was hearing kids doing things like.
I know, I couldn't even imagine.
So I'm just like, it's not okay to just ignore it. It's not going to help anybody. It doesn't change anything. And if anything, then your kids get views and images or things that you probably don't want them going through.
Yeah. It's way more accessible now.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, what about like since you have boys, like are you gonna make a point of talking about like women's health around them? Or
absolutely.
Like,
absolutely. Because like I've had to educate my husband a little bit about me because like he grew up with 4 boys.
Yeah.
And his mom was in the house, so he had a stepmom, and she and him didn't get along very well. So it's not like they were like best of buds to like know anything about women's health. So growing up in a house with 4 boys, like it's very different.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, my wife like is going through all this right now. And I'm like, I'm hormonal and I'm tired, I'm crying, and I need chocolate and like it's like these are the things that I need right now.
Yeah.
Or he'll be like, hey, you want to hang out? I'm like, on my period.
Yeah.
Don't.
I know. I got asked that the other day, like, what would you need like during that time? I was like, really, honestly, just to fuck off.
Yeah.
Don't like.
Yeah.
To understand and be like, space.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to be cuddled up. Like, no.
Yeah. Exactly.
Get away from me.
Especially because like
don't take it personal.
The day of, I'm already like miserable and I'm hurting, and I don't want anybody near me touching me. Nothing.
Yeah, like, because your skin hurts. Literally, like your skin hurts to touch because your body's in so much like shock and pain and changes. It's like, literally. No, I don't want to be smothered and cuddled. I want to be alone
and suffer in my own.
Yeah, like there's nothing you could do to take away this pain.
Literally,
like handle everything else that I don't have the energy or capacity to handle.
I hate when the cramps are so bad that you feel like you're pushing out a baby still almost. You're like, oh my god, this is awful.
Yeah,
I want to die.
I was at the park when I was last period. Yeah, and I was like, oh, I'll be outside moving around. I was like bent over. I was like, oh my god. I was like, I'm not even trying to be cool about it anymore. I'm just like, if someone asked me if I'm okay, I'm like, no, like I'm on my period and dying. They'd be like, okay, I understand.
I got you. I sees you. How about you take your ass back to the car and I'll watch these kids? Like that's how it feels.
Give me a minute, hot flash coming over. We'll be good. Like,
that's the worst too, is you get those hot flashes. Yeah. And then like thirsty as a racehorse, and
I know.
Like all of it.
Middle of the night, you're just like which again is not normal either. You shouldn't be going through these fluctuations of these hot flashes. I think I had one last night. I was like, cozy, dying.
I'm dying.
Oh my God. Which is so weird because, like, when you're ovulating, your body temperature goes up.
Yes.
That's how you typically do like those tests because
Yeah.
your basal temperature is up. And then when your period, your body temperature actually goes down,
Mhm.
but you're hotter than hell, which is
Yes.
so weird because
Yeah.
it's like, how am my body temperature's down, but like I feel like a fucking inferno.
Mhm. Yeah.
I don't get that.
I don't know.
Science. Please somebody explain it to
Science,
me.
bitch. Literally.
Yeah.
I think that's all the questions I have. Do you have any other ones that you
No.
want to go through? All right. Well, guys, we're gonna wrap it up for the evening. This is episode on period experiences. Please comment and share your experiences with us. We'd love to know. Also, if you have any suggestions for new episodes,
I know.
we'd like to know what you guys think and what's kind of going on right now.
Yeah. What is going on? This is what our 12th episode.
Yeah.
Dang.
12 episodes, baby. Woo! Yeah. Trying to get that sponsorship, guys. Help us out.
A period company comes to us like, here's my tampon. You don't have to do flips on them.
Yeah. That's awesome. All right,
Right.
guys. Well, we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.